With our new online loan application, you can go to our website and apply for a loan when it's most convenient for you. We make getting loan approval fast and easy. Our local lenders are available to assist you if you have any questions. We make it pain-free to get that loan you've been wanting. We're an equal housing lender. Oahe Federal Credit Union, your hometown credit union since 1955. Federally insured by NCUA.
Your equipment is working overtime in the summer heat, but can your parts keep up? At Grossenberg, we're rolling out our August filter sale so you can stock up and keep your machines running smooth. Now, through the end of the month, save 16% on John Deere and Fleet Guard filters to help your machines finish the season strong. Partner up with us and stop by your nearest location or visit Grossenberg.com to take advantage of this deal while it lasts.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if, a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
When you're thinking of a new or used car, motorcycle, pickup, or RV, think of us. We make all sorts of vehicle loans. We can set you up with payments that fit your budget. So if you have getting some new wheels in mind, stop by and see us. We'll get you the right loan. Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. We're big on you.
We're small enough to know your name, but we're big on you.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in,
They wanted to get this game underway a little bit early on this Saturday morning. So we're looking at about a 9:50 kickoff time. We'll have the national anthem and all of that good stuff for you, of course. But they're going to try to get this thing underway about 10 to 15 minutes early. If you did watch last night's Pierre Governor football game on River 92.7, well, you saw the state of the field at the end of the contest, completely chewed up. What a game it was. Brian Oakland had a great time calling that one. It was a Carter Scheffelbein 96-yard touchdown that would get the Govs the extra touchdown that they needed to get the win. They would go on and win 9-6, but the decision was made late last night. They said, hey, we got to move this game to the Pilk. Field is too chewed up. Even this morning, there was a little bit of a question mark around if these two games would be played. They are looking at both fields. They said one side of the field where they kind of swap back and forth from varsity and JV was actually a little bit underwater, so they had to move the goals up from the back line where some of that standing water was sitting. And they're going to play both varsity fields, or both varsity games, I should say, here on the field in front of us. So we'll get today's action going a little quicker for you as we're welcoming you into the Bank West pregame show. My partner in crime, Chris Derry, is making his way over, and we're going to get to talk to him about some keys to success. If you're listening today on River 92.7, reminder, you can also watch this game live on drgnews.com at the River 92.7 station page, and you can also listen live on the DRG News app. If you want to download the DRG News app, making your listening experience much more streamlined and much more enjoyable. We also want to thank the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety for reminding you to drive slow. Slow the drive, arrive alive, you got someplace to be. Tough driving in these conditions, especially last night. And I want to give a big thanks to our great technical director back in the DRG Media Group studios, William Wilson. He had a late night last night and an early morning this morning, as did our great camera operator, Brian Menning, who got the Stanley County game done with me last night. So big thanks to those two guys for being out here. As we creep up on about 10 minutes to play, we're going to step away, hear a few words from our great sponsors who sponsors today's doubleheader. And then when we come back, we'll talk keys to success, meet the starting lineups. We'll hear a word from the South Dakota Attorney General's Office Division of Consumer Protection, and we'll have our ComTech kickoff here at the Pilk on a Saturday morning for some Pierre Governor doubleheader soccer action.
There when you need them the most. Bank West Insurance agents Sam Kenneke and Angie Taylor are here to make your life easier.
As an independent agency, we're able to customize an insurance plan to fit your individual needs.
We work with dozens of companies to find you the best possible coverage and the best price.
For your insurance needs, contact Sam or Angie at Bank West Insurance in Pierre. Bank West, convenient, connected, committed. Insurance products are not deposits, not FDIC insured, not insured by any federal agency, not guaranteed by any bank, and may go down in value.
Superior Concrete is proud to sponsor the Governors this season and just as proud to offer the finest concrete solutions available for commercial and residential applications as well as foundation and flat work. The bottom line, if you need anything done with concrete, we can do it. Superior Concrete. Give us a call today for an estimate or more information. That's Superior Concrete. Find us on Facebook or call the office at 605-494-0102. That's 494-0102. Call today.
Sports are here, and Beck Motor Company is proud to cheer on our local athletes. Just like teamwork on the field or court, you can count on teamwork at our dealership. Whether you're driving a new Chevy Equinox, a tough Chevy Silverado, or keeping your current ride in top shape with our service department, Beck Motor Company is here for all your automotive needs. Good luck to all our hometown teams this season. From your friends at Beck Motor Company, we're making a great deal better. www.beckmotors.com, 605-224-5912.
Chances are you're overlooking a big energy thief in your home or commercial building, the garage doors. But Overhead Door Company of Pierre can help stop that energy waste with a full range of insulated, weather-tight garage doors. Their residential garage doors give you insulated performance at an uninsulated price. And their Thermocore insulated steel doors give commercial buildings the energy efficiency they demand today. Find out more. Call Overhead Door Company of Pierre at 1-800-649-9905 and put a stop to the garage door energy thief.
At Avera Orthopedics, we're transforming pain into possibility every day. Whether you're chasing a personal best or simply want to enjoy life to the fullest, our specialized care is designed to help you feel better and stronger. We're here for you. No referral needed. Trust Avera Orthopedics to unlock a world of endless possibilities. Visit avera.org/orthopedics and start your journey from pain to possibility today.
There's an app for everything, including high school sports from the stations of DRG Media Group. Download the DRG News app from the App Store or Google Play. It takes only a moment, so you'll have it in time for this game. See live and archive video of all games. And when you select your favorite station during the live stream, the video will immediately pop up. See Central South Dakota high school sports on your phone or mobile device with the DRG News app. Download it now from the App Store or Google Play.
We welcome you back to the Pilk as we're getting set for game one of our doubleheader here this morning. I almost said afternoon, but we're getting started early as the clouds hanging overhead look like they might turn into some thunderstorms, so they want to get as much soccer in as possible. Before we talk to Chris Derry, let's hear a word from Central Dakota Eye Care, who sponsors our Keys to Success, and then we'll get those keys from success from our good friend Chris Derry.
Did you know 16 million Americans suffer from dry eye? Hi, this is Dr. Nick Marso of Central
Just
Dakota
throwing you into
Eye
the fire.
Care.
Good to see you, buddy.
Providing comprehensive eye exams, evaluating vision and health of your eyes. We now offer IPL.
And it was like, hey, we're getting going early today.
Opulite IPL is a new innovative light therapy treatment for dry eye and is FDA approved. Also available at our clinic are dry eye products and supplements. Call us today, 224-6128 for more information and to schedule an appointment. Central Dakota Eye Care, 640 East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. Better vision for a great life.
And I just realized I didn't mute our talk buttons, and you heard that introduction with me and Chris Derry. And you know what, Chris? We've got our energy drinks popped. We're going to cheers here on air. It's our first call back together. Chris, you know, we welcomed each other off the air, so we thought, but I welcome you back onto the broadcast. You've actually seen more Pierre Governors soccer this season than I have. You got to call the first couple home games with Brian Oakland over at Hollister Field, but Hollister Field was a little bit chewed up this morning, so we moved to the Pilk. But, Chris, you know, we look at what the Governors have done this season. One win, a couple draws, and a couple losses, including yesterday's loss to Rapid City Stevens 3-1. But we're early in the season. There's a lot of soccer left to be played. And what's kind of your take on what this Governor squad for the boys have looked like ahead of game one?
You know, to me, it's been a growing process. Coach Blanchette lost a lot of strength last year, has a lot of strength coming back. But it's been a growing process. He's getting the kids to play a certain way. The effort level has been there every game. I think last night the score was 3-1, but Rapid City Stevens got a couple early goals on them, and then Pierre kind of got their feet under him, got going a little bit, and played them to a 1-1 the rest of the game. So those 2 early goals were the difference. They didn't come out ready to play, but after a couple of adjustments, they played the game solid, and that's the way they've played the whole season. They have played every team tough. They have played every team to their max, and a couple missed opportunities here and there, and instead of them being with 1 win, I think they could easily be with 3 wins. So I expect good things today from them against the Rapid City Central Cobblers.
And the Cobblers, a team looking for their first win, and it probably doesn't affect them as much as it may affect the Governors. This change of scenery, change of plans at the last minute. You're a coach. You're a pretty seasoned coach yourself. What are you telling your guys before they take the pitch and say, hey, look, I know we're supposed to play at Hollister. I know we're supposed to play in the big stage. Now we're moved down to the Pilk. Things have changed. We're getting started early. A lot of different things thrown at this team here early on this Saturday morning. What do you tell your guys, if you're Sean Blanchette, about what they need to be ready for here this morning?
For me as a coach, I'm not focusing on the change. I'm focused on what we got to do. This is where they practice. This is where they play. This is what they're used to playing on. A 70-yard wide field by 110 yards long. It's a full-size field that they're used to kicking on. The grass is nice and short like they're used to. Everything here is comfortable. This is home for them. So I'm really not focusing on the change. I'm more focusing on the task at hand. And, hey, we're playing on the field. We know this is our field. We own it. We do not let people come in here and take advantage of our home field.
Absolutely, and my last part of this keys to success is, it feels like maybe the Governors off to a slow start, but they're playing some really good competition. With those 2 draws, they lost their first game of the season 2-1 to Aberdeen Central, who sits at 3-1 on the season. Brookings, they drew that game 1-1, and that Brookings team sits at 2-1 on the year. Their first win came against Sioux Falls Roosevelt, who sits at 1-2 on the year. They drew with Yankton 2-2, who is 2-3-1, and they lost to an undefeated Rapid City Stevens team. So there's still, like we said, a lot of soccer to play. But do you feel like this could be a good game for Pierre to kind of get into that rhythm as they come into the meat of this schedule?
So going into the season, I honestly had predicted the top 4 teams, and 3 of them they've played: Aberdeen, Yankton, and Stevens. Those 3 teams I predicted to be top 4, top 5 teams in the state, knowing the players. Yankton, I think, is just starting to find their stride. They're getting their players back from injuries, suspensions, whatever. So the schedule for them has not been easy. This has been trial by fire, so to speak, with the first games that they've had. Now this is a team here that they should be able to handle their business, take care of it, get on track to go into the middle part, the meat of the season. Playing all those teams who I think are state championship contenders to 1-goal games, 2-goal games like that, a couple missed opportunities here and there, says a lot for where this team is going to be, I think, at the end of the season.
Big thanks to Central Dakota Eye Care for sponsoring our Keys to Success. Now to meet our Envirotech starting lineups. Before we do that, let's hear a word from our great friends who sponsor our starting lineups at Envirotech.
Envirotech makes life a little bit simpler. No matter what the circumstances, no matter what is handed to you, Envirotech has you covered. One call is all it takes to have easy setup, easy pickup, and easy payment. Call Envirotech at 224-4804 or use their website to pay your bill online at envirotechwaste.com. Use the mobile app Waste Connect. Check their website or receive a robocall for collection schedule due to weather or holidays. Envirotech has you covered.
Thanks to Envirotech, and thanks for them talking all over their ad was myself. Let's meet our starting lineups today here before we get the national anthem going for the hometown Pierre Governors. It'll be Joseph Blaha, Everett Norton, Hekmat Ghaznavi, Cale Shrake, Lucas Height, Javier Patel Alegre, Carter Templeton, Jacoby LaRoche, Caden Aharts, Alex Odakoven, and Carter Norton. And a lot of these guys, very similar roster from last season. It's got to feel good for Sean Blanchette to have a lot of familiar names in this starting lineup again in 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. Carter Templeton is new between the pipes, but Carter's been playing there for quite a while, and is going to do great things. And the rest of the team here is very comfortable with Sean.
So we're about to step away for our national anthem. When we come back after this short break, we'll meet the starting lineup for the Rapid City Central Cobblers. We'll introduce you to our game officials here today, and we'll get our ComTech kickoff underway. We'll step off, and we'll be back after this short break on River 92.7 with more from the Bank West pregame show.
From the early days of South Dakota statehood through today's digital revolution, BankWest has remained committed to helping customers and communities succeed. BankWest Associates uphold this commitment by developing innovative products tailoring financial solutions to customer needs and actively supporting community causes. For a bank committed to helping you and your community prosper, choose Bank West. Bank West. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
Do you dream of a custom home built within your budget and done on time? Kruger Contracting can make that dream a reality. They're a trusted home builder since 2003, and they're going to be upfront and open about cost and transparent about where your money is going when it comes to your new home. Their skilled crew will manage construction of your new home from start to finish. They're located in Pierre and can build your home in Pierre, Fort Pierre, or the surrounding area. Call 605-222-2523. Visit KrugerContracting.com or find Kruger Contracting on Facebook.
Century Business Products is a proud provider of the most reliable Kyocera copiers and printers to the Pierre School District. Backed by 5-time nationally awarded Kyocera servicing team. Are you looking to control color cost? Looking to reduce printers? Are you looking for more efficient ways to scan documents? Or maybe you'd like to become more paperless? Look no further than your local Century Business Products. Call 800-529-1950 and see how they're powering business technology.
At American Family Insurance, we help protect what you've achieved so you can fearlessly go after your dreams. For auto, home, business, and life, contact us today. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance, Life Mutual, Standard of Ohio and Wisconsin Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin, 53783.
Call the Brittany Shufflebine Agency, LLC, with offices in Pierre, Oneida, and Gettysburg.
And we're getting set for our Comtech kickoff here. Let's hear a word quickly from Comtech before we get this thing underway.
Comtech has your technology solutions. Check out their showroom located right off the truck route on Irwin Street. Come in and see what you've been missing. A large selection of TVs, sound systems, and smart speakers, PCs, desktops, and tablets, home and business security and telecommunication systems. Comtech is your all-in-one solution for any technology needs. Wishing all athletes the best of luck in today's competition. Comtech. Come see what you've been missing.
And we're getting set for kickoff here at the Pilk. Of course, we'll get to our South Dakota Attorney General's Office Division of Consumer Protection ad here momentarily when we get a break. Abbreviated pregame show as the Cobblers in all red kick it off, and we are underway against the Pierre Governors in all white here at the Pilk. It's going to be a little bit wet. Rain started during the national anthem, but it has subsided here for the moment as the Governors steal back the first possession of the game. Blaha going to push it back towards the middle of the pitch, ping-ponging back and forth and shoved out of bounds here on the near side. Governors will be attacking from left to right on your radio dial. Governors are going to try to get something going here early as they try to feel out not only this Cobbler roster, but also trying to feel out the conditions here today. It's a little bit breezy. We had a lot of wind games last year, and that's one of those things in South Dakota that just kind of comes hand in hand with playing outdoors. You're going to get wind no matter where you are. As this one's pushed out of bounds along the back line. Cobblers going to be taking it out of their own end, pushing it back towards the middle. As Javier Patel Alegre fields that kick from the Cobbler goalie. Going to be one back here and taken away by Sebastian Banks. Banks going to push it down into the near side corner. It's taken away by the Governors. Pushed back towards the middle there by Alex Odakoven. And it's fielded cleanly by Marcus Callahan, who will be doing the goalkeeping today for the Cobblers. Still with the rain. You know, we saw it last night, but good crowd on hand across the way. Family and friends made their way out to the Pilk as they wanted to get this game started a little bit early, obviously, because of the impending weather, but we've also got the girls' game scheduled after this as Patel Alegre turns the corner here at midfield, pushes it down into the far side corner, heads it up to Blaha, who puts it out in front of the net. A good scoring opportunity. Shot on goal and saved by Callahan. And that was Caden Aharts who put the shot out in front of the Cobbler keeper, and a nice save by Callahan diving off to his right. Saved a near goal, but it will be a corner kick here for the Pierre Governors, and taking it will be Jacoby LaRoche. Going to be the far side corner here for the Governors. Good scoring opportunity here early in the going minutes. From the corner, turned in, bounced away. Still out in front, header off the post, and the push back off the right foot.
Great header right there. Caden Aharts with that follow-up right there. Just got a little bit excited, but Pierre Governors right now are imposing their will on Rapid City.
Aharts was alone out in front of the net after the ball careened off the right post from our vantage point. Aharts with a strong kick, but it went up and over the crossbar and out towards the street, and maybe a little bit of that excitement showing from Caden Aharts early.
Yeah, I mean, when you get in front of goal there, you want to start the game off with an early goal. And right now, Governors are pushing. They've had 3 shots on goal just to start this game in the first 5 minutes.
And I saw Athletic Director Brian Moser come over and have a word with you. Did he tell you that we're playing 30-minute halves instead of 40?
No, they're just he was talking about the time between games because between the games here, we're honored to be doing our first ever Pierre Soccer Hall of Fame induction for four members.
And who will be heading that up there, Chris Derry?
The 4 members are Ed Paul, Tom Rounds, Candy Smith, and Jerry Wilson, all who I consider, part of the reason why Pierre Soccer is what it is today.
Pertella Legray pushing it through. Lucas Height making his way, across midfield. That was actually LaRoche who makes his way and still dancing at midfield.
All the kids dyeing their hair blonde has made it a little bit difficult to keep track of them.
As this one's pushed even further towards the back line of the Cobblers. Picked up here for the moment by Aharts. Aharts knifing through defenders into the box, and now falling down to his back is Hudson Pitts. That one pushed out. Also there for the play was Alex Vermunson. As that one goes out of bounds, we'll stay with the Cobblers down on the far right side. My question was more so who's going to be emceeing the event, Chris Derry?
Well, originally I was going to be, but with the shortened amount of time between games, it's going to be a task to get everything done. So we'll make it work with the time allotted.
Roll on the fly, as we always like to do, as this one's pushed down to the far side corner towards the right side of the field, or the pitch rather. Hekmat Ghaznavi gave chase. That one kicked out of play, stays with the Governors, and throwing this one in will be Cale Shrake. Shrake gets it in to Jacoby LaRoche just outside the box as he tries to push in through defenders. Taken away by the Cobblers. Sliding steal there by Chase Kepler.
And Jacoby LaRoche and Caden Aharts have a lot of familiarity with these guys. A lot of them have, Jacoby and Caden have been playing some club soccer with the Black Hills team. So a lot of teammates out here that played this last year.
And there's a lot of familiarity within this Governor group as this one's pushed forward, going to make its way all the way back. And Carter Templeton will come out and field it cleanly. Underhand roll forward as the Governors regain back the possession. We've seen one good scoring opportunity by the Governors here early, but it's been mostly possession controlled by the Govs. And we know Sean Blanchette is a possession percentage type of guy as this one gets all the way through and will be booted back the direction of Marcus Callahan. Callahan kicks it back forward, back into the field of play. Nice step in front there. And here comes an opportunity possibly for Alex Odakoven as he chases down the loose ball on the far side near the far side flag. Out in that corner, the battle continues. One away by the Cobblers and booted forward towards the back line, and giving chase is Carter Norton.
Yeah, right now Rapid City is under a lot of pressure, so every time they get the ball, it's just a long ball forward to relieve pressure, and it can be it's nice to get away from pressure for a minute or two, but if you're getting it right back in your face, you need to pass it a little wide and work the ball.
Seems like so far when the Cobblers have had the opportunity here to push it forward, all they've been doing is trying to just get it down towards that goalkeeper and Carter Templeton and relieve some of that pressure that the Governors have created.
Yeah, Governors are really pushing numbers forward. Looks like they're almost playing a 4-3-3 system, which is creating the numbers. And Rapid City is having to adjust to the pressure that they're getting.
Back and forth they go at midfield. Pushed through as both teams just trying to feel each other out. Governors have had the advantage thus far, but the Cobblers here a little bit on the move, is knifing his way through defenders as Sebastian Banks. Banks will dump it back towards Hudson Pitts. Pitts surveys, kicks through, and a body in the way. And it will bounce back towards midfield, and the Cobblers will settle back up. Been a slow day back there so far for Carter Templeton, kind of as he likes it. You know, he's a guy that loves to get in the action, but still early here in the first half.
Well, is Carter kicking? For the football team, was he at the game last night?
It was actually Whitty who was doing the kicking last night on the extra points and the field goal. So maybe Templeton was trying to save that leg. As you know, the Governors won their first game of the season against Aberdeen Central last night, 9-6, in a defensive battle and a slop fest over at Hollister Field.
It looked very muddy.
A little bit. And, you know, we were talking with some of the assistant coaches as the Cobblers move this one forward, and this one's booted all the way back to Templeton, who shows off that kicking prowess and boots it back towards midfield. You know, I was calling the Stanley County game, didn't get word that this game had been moved to the Pilk. I turned on the Governor game, which was still going close to midnight. I said, there's no way they're going to be able to play soccer on this field tomorrow. And Brian Mosier agreed. This one coming across the near sideline and booted out of play over towards that Governor bench.
Yeah, the way the field looked, the condition, that would not have been a healthy choice for this for these games today, because it looked, by the end of the game, it just looked
looked a little bit muddy, didn't it?
Yeah, it looked a little bit black.
Would have certainly been a slow matchup between all four teams that we'll have today, two of the boys' teams and, of course, two of the girls' teams in the second game to follow here.
It would have been interesting to see what the ball did on that surface, how much bouncing it would have done.
Not much, I would assume, as this one's thrown in from the near sideline for the Governors, headed out by the defensive back line of the Cobblers. Shot on goal, catches a thigh of a Cobbler out in front of the net. But more good offensive pressure from the Governors. They'll regain control here. A little bit of slipping and sliding here. That's going to be customary here this afternoon. That rain that started during the national anthem has all but subsided. As this one's bounced through, possible handball there for the moment, but the officials say play on. Of course, we'll introduce you to our game officials and hear a word from the South Dakota Attorney General's Office of Division of Consumer Protection when we get the moment. Templeton out of the box, fielding that one. Pushes it to Norton, who chops it over towards Lucas Height. He makes his way back towards midfield. And the Governors push on. Jacoby LaRoche trying to flitter one through, and it was picked off by the Cobblers, but won immediately back by the Governors. They will stay conservative here, get it back to Templeton, who will let everybody get reset.
Pierre's doing a good job of recycling the ball. Nothing there. Push it back. Let's start over again. Keep possession of the ball. Keep it at our feet. Let Rapid City chase. It's they're doing very well, and I know it's a lot of things they've been practicing during the week to get ready for these games and games going forward.
And it's something small, but it feels like the two back lines between the Cobblers and the Governors, even that feels like the Governors have the advantage. They feel more comfortable when that ball's on the back line as they get their offense set up. Feels like the Cobblers are just trying to get it out of their own zone, not allow or afford any more offensive opportunities. As we've got our first substitution of the afternoon, Joseph Blaha will check out of the game, and checking in will be James Hart. This one back towards midfield, pushed across by the Govs, now floated in, finds its way through, almost gets to Alex Otakoven, but the Cobblers take it away, and they'll roll this one back to Callahan. And with a right-footed boot, Callahan clears it towards the far sideline.
And there again, Pierre wins possession. Let's knock it back. Let's spread out the field. Create a lot of seams, a lot of open space to move the ball around. Just, you know, good job of possession soccer right there, which I think Pierre's winning probably right now 80-20.
I would have to agree. The Governors really only had thus far that one true scoring opportunity. They put a couple shots towards the net that have been deflected away by some Cobbler defenders. I will say Rapid City seems like they've settled in nicely on the defensive end after that initial flurry by the Govs. Push back towards midfield. Governors win the possession, and now they're pushing. Sent way down towards the far corner. Giving chase is Caden Aharts. He'll get to it in time before it leaves the playing surface. Aharts floats one back towards the middle, towards James Hart. On the near side corner of the box, Hart will turn and fist it back towards Javier Pertel-Alegre. Pertel-Alegre gets it back towards Lucas Height. Height has it stolen away for the moment. Nice play there by Jackson Bergman. But he ran into a couple Governor defenders as the possession continues on.
And that's going to be an interesting matchup. Jackson likes a lot of physicality. He likes to get in there and shoulder to shoulder. And he's matched up right now against Lucas Height, who equally loves the contact and the physicality. So that's going to be a fun matchup this whole game.
Everett Norton almost fed one through back there on the offensive side for the Governors. Good defense by the Cobblers. Took that scoring opportunity away. Javier Pertel-Alegre trying to do the same thing for James Hart, but it gets past him and rolls all the way back to Callahan. Callahan will slowly jog across the outskirt of that box, surveying and now booting it away. One by the Govs, push through, popcorning back and forth. Nice slide tackle by Caden Ahart's trying to win that possession back. It'll get back behind the back line of the Governors. Chasing it down is Norton as he rolls it back towards Templeton. Good job by Carter Norton there to limit an opportunity for the Cobblers.
And notice how they're switching the point of attack. They're getting the field. Pressure's over here on the right side. Let's work it over to the left side, and they're getting the attacks down the wings because of it.
Full-on sprint towards the corner. Cale Shrake was giving chase. It's booted out by the defensive line of the Cobblers, and it'll end up as a corner kick here for the Govs. Their second of the afternoon. Had a great opportunity the last corner. A great header out in front by the Governors, and then followed up by Lucas Height, who had a pretty good look at the net, but just let it sail a little bit high as it bounced a little high on the shin. This one sent towards the center. Another good header and a wonderful save by Marcus Callahan as he extends high and just clips it with his left hand, getting it to change trajectory and go over the top of the crossbar. And they live to fight another day.
Yeah, good job by the keeper getting out off of his line coming forward. If he doesn't do that, I think he's in trouble.
Another corner upcoming, and this one is going to squeak through all the bodies out in front of the net and will roll out of play here on the near sideline. They're going to say that it'll be Governor ball. Quick throw into James Hart. Javier Pertel Alegre from way out, just trying to get it out in front of the net. And that one will knife through a couple red and white jerseys. Two substitutions here coming for the Cobblers. Kaiden Black Elk Volkman will check into the game, as will Chance Herrera. Joe Sobrowski, the head coach for the Cobblers, did tell us he's a little bit thin on substitutions, so we won't see too many bodies coming off that bench for the Cobblers. Throw in coming by Verminson out in front of us, right at midfield. Pertel Alegre will pop that one up into the air along the sideline. That one will roll out of play. Governors thought it was their ball, and, well, Caden Aharts was doing his best to sell it, but it'll stay with the Cobblers. Throw in there by Verminson. And now a fight for the loose ball ensues. Back and forth. Norton with a knee up into the air. Couple headers. That one right off the face there of a Governor. That was Everett Norton who wore that one on the cheek. He's laying it all out there for his team on the field. Ball at midfield and now pushed out of play.
Yeah,
and this time it will be the Governors.
Everett's doing a great job of just getting out there and creating havoc, creating opportunities, getting the ball to his playmakers, Jacoby and Caden Ahart's there in the middle. He's doing a great job.
Joseph Blaha waiting to check in for the Governors, as is a couple names here for the Cobblers. Tucker Larson waiting as well. And now they get the whistle, and these two guys will be able to check in. Blaha with a nice little bit of rest. He was the first Governor to check out of the match. He will hand his red penny off as Hekmat Ghaznavi will make his way to the bench. This one thrown in and off the head of a Cobbler back towards midfield. Norton fields it, loses it for the moment, and now the Cobblers with a little bit of space. Out in front and chasing, Templeton backing up. Great defense by Javier Pertel Alegre. Carter Templeton's going to dive on the loose ball. It was Chance Herrera who was pressing the issue. A little bit of contact by Javier and Herrera, but nothing wrong with a little bit of contact as this one's forced forward. Giving chase is Jacoby LaRoche, put back out in front of the net and kicked out towards midfield. James Hart will chase it down. He'll be the first Governor to get to it. Hart will try to squeeze it through, and Marcus Callahan will come out in a feet-first slide. He corrals that loose ball.
Just going back to the defensive there by Pertel Alegre. Great job of just keeping his feet, and just pressuring him to go right to Carter. That's you could not have drawn that up any better, because he could have easily have tackled and caused a foul for a PK, but was very smart about his play.
And Pertel Alegre didn't exactly have great positioning on that play either. He had to use his speed to kind of get himself into the proper spot there to make the play without drawing a whistle.
Yeah, he used his angles. He knew where the striker was going. He met him there and just played it as well as you could have.
Back towards midfield. And this one's going to roll back to Carter Templeton. Templeton with an overhead right-handed throw. Gets to Javier Patel Alegre. Herrera gave chase coming up from behind. Maybe forced an errant kick there from Patel Alegre. As Larson, who just checked in, got his first contact. This one pushed through. Patel Alegre uses his chest to cut off the pass intended for Hudson Pitts. And some good defensive play here by Javier Patel Alegre and Carter Norton as we're about midway through the first half. Chasing down towards the near side corner on the left. That'll roll out, and Carter Templeton will get the opportunity to kick it away.
Yeah, Rapid City's made a couple of adjustments here. You notice they put looks like they put another player into the midfield there to help win a few balls, and they're starting to get some balls out wide, and Sean's trying to make a few adjustments on the fly over here as well. Coach Blanchett, excuse me.
Caden Aharts was streaking, but a nice play there by Noah Lip as this one's out in front of the net, and a sliding kick away saves a scoring opportunity for the Cobblers. It was Lucas Height who cut off the pass. And Height went feet first. That one was destined for position out in front of the net. Carter Templeton was happy to see Lucas Height come flying through. It'll set up a corner kick for the Cobblers, but the Govs can get set up on it. Looks like Gavin Callahan doing the corner kicking here for the Cobblers. He floats this one way past the semicircle out in front of the box. Corralled here for the moment by the Cobblers, still popping around and pushed back out towards midfield. Long kick in, going to push Carter Templeton off to his right. He'll let it sail free. That off the foot of Noah Lip, who just made that nice defensive play back on the other end of the pitch, cutting off a scoring opportunity from Caden Aharts. Templeton waiting patiently, surveying, and now a soft kick to the far side for Norton. Norton will give it right back, and back and forth they go. Templeton back to Norton. Norton pushing. And back line of Rapid City Central trying to do everything they can to make sure no white jerseys and no balls get behind them. This one picked off for the moment. James Hart had a little bit of separation. He gives chase now. He's pushed off the ball by Verminson. And now we've got a whistle. Well, that came from the JV field back behind us. So we continue play here on the varsity field. Stolen away by Noah Lip. Lip has had a good past couple minutes here in the first half as this one's lifted out of play right in front of Javier Patel Alegre.
Yeah, he's done a good job over here on the wing against James Hart, Caden Aharts, Jacoby, all of them that have come down this wing. He's done a pretty good job of positioning himself to win the ball.
Caden Ahart somehow getting out of a phone booth with that ball here on the near sideline. Still out in front of us, right in front of the press box. This one booted way down the pitch, and Carter Templeton will let it slowly roll towards him. He'll control, push it towards the far side. Field in pretty good shape, I'd say, for as much rain as we got last night.
PILC, I tell people all the time who come here, PILC is probably the best draining soccer field you have in the state. They drain so well from the northeast corner to the southwest corner.
And they needed it. We got drenched last night. This one's pushed forward. And you really wouldn't think it when you look at kind of the setup of this field. Down in a bit of a bowl here towards the bottom part of the city.
It's an illusion too, because from way back when we were talking about the fields and how they were designed, that northeast corner to the southwest corner is a 6-foot difference, and you would never know it standing here looking at it.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough when you're standing right in the middle of it, but now that you say it, my mind can't unsee it. Governors will control, push forward for Caden Aharts. Ball still popping around in the offensive side for the Governors, but a nice play there by Verminson, who came flying through to cut off a pass, and this one booted way over top of the canopy and out into the JV game behind us. Quick throw in here by Verminson, cut off quickly by Aharts. This one pushed through, back towards midfield.
Caden was trying to catch Jacoby there and just played the wrong ball to get it to him. He needed a ball behind, and played it right into that defender. But the idea was there. They're trying to find each other and link up, which Jacoby gets free down the middle. That's a dangerous opportunity.
And the Cobblers trying to tip the possession percentage back in their favor a little bit. They've been controlling the ball a little bit more here as we creep towards the first break of the afternoon. This one out in front of the net, set in front, good opportunity, shot on goal, goes wide, and it was a great opportunity for Jacoby LaRoche, who was a little bit slow to get up, but I think that was more the upset factor as he had a good chance out in front of the net. A nice job by James Hart centering that pass, and it just sailed a little bit wide there for LaRoche, who turned and kind of slipped on the attempt.
Yeah, I think Jacoby thought he was under more pressure than he really was. When he got done with the kick, he looked around and saw he had more time than he thought he had, and I know he wants that one back badly.
So a couple of miscues for the Governors have kept this game scoreless, as the Cobblers looking to push the momentum here just a little bit. Nice pass leading through. It's going to give Chance Herrera a chance to try to chase it down, but Templeton was able to get to it before he could get a foot on it. Will be controlled by the Govs. Pertel Alegre trying to weave his way through traffic. Caden Aharts.
And you can hear Sean over there, Coach Blanchette over there, talking to his team. Hold the ball, hold the ball. You know, he doesn't want them forcing it. Let's find our space. Let's find the seam that we can get into.
Ball at midfield on the far sideline and pushed out of bounds. I'm sure not the start that Sean Blanchette was hoping for out of his team this season. But as we mentioned in the Bank West pregame show, a lot of soccer left to be played this year.
A lot of soccer and a lot of winnable games too. I mean, they have had a tough schedule to start the season with, and I honestly think their best soccer is ahead of them. And it's, you know, you want a higher seed, you want a home playoff game, you want all that stuff, but you want to most importantly be playing your best soccer at the end of the season. And I think that's where he's going.
Cobblers trying to push it through. Nice job defensively by the back line for the Governors. Will stay with the Cobblers, but out of the striking zone as this one's pushed towards that far side flag down on the left side of the pitch, and Carter Templeton will get out to it.
Carter's doing a nice job of staying off his line. Any through balls, he's just coming out and cleaning up, saving his defense a little bit from having to work harder than they need to. Great job.
Bouncing ball getting towards that back line for the Cobblers. Pushed back towards midfield. Still popping around here. Cut off and taken away by Gavin Callahan. This one pushes across midfield. Hekmat Ghaznavi barking out commands as this one rolls back towards Templeton. Push towards Norton on the far side. Norton trying to split two defenders and does so successfully. Still dancing across. Pushes it here near side for Javier Pertel Alegre. And now a little bit of pace on for the Govs. Push through, picked off, taken away by Ghaznavi. Still rolling back and forth. Now taken away by Ahart. Shot deflected back towards midfield. Cobblers trying to slow things down just a little bit. Governors were trying to do the same thing as Blanchette was asking him to do. Just hold the ball, be patient. Seeing the opportunities can come. Here's a pass through, giving chase, and not going to be able to get to it in time was Alex Odakoven. This one's pushed through. Beautiful pass through to a cutting Cobbler. That was Chance Herrera, but it got out in front of him. Good job by the back line. And Lucas Height to kick that one out of play, give his defense a chance to trot back and get in position.
Yeah, Lucas played the angle right. That was a great ball from the defender back up to a striker. Found that gap to put it in, and Lucas cleaned it up. You know, just it's fun to watch good soccer.
Chance Herrera waiting for the whistle, gets it and heaves it overhead. Lucas Height able to get to it, push it across the pitch to the far side. Chasing down, getting to it first were the Cobblers, but it's out in front. Templeton had it for the moment. It's looped over his head, but we've got a whistle, and I think somebody was offside. That goal found the back of the net, but not before the whistle was blown there by the far official. And the Cobblers just out a little bit too far in front on that one. But a good opportunity for the Cobblers, their first true opportunity of the day. And without the offside, they would have capitalized on it.
Yeah, and that's a lucky break for Pierre with the ball bouncing. Ball bounced right in front of Carter there and gave a little slip to him. And that's just going to be something Carter needs to process. They can't let that ball bounce, go meet the ball in the air and not give it a chance to bounce off this slick ground.
Templeton, just a sophomore, still finding his footing there between the pipes. One of those things that just comes with true game time experience.
Yeah, and he's gonna do well. I mean, he's got the work ethic, he's got the size, he's got the agility, which is a big thing for the keepers, is his agility with his size. He's going to be fun to watch over the next couple of years for the Governors.
Well, you made a great point there with his size. He's not an imposing figure, but he certainly takes up a lot of that space between the two pipes and the crossbar, and that's something that Sean Blanchette's very pleased with. Cobblers control at midfield. Tucker Larson taking it to the far side. This one pushed a little bit too far out in front of any Cobbler. It was intended for Logan Bergman, but it got it to Carter Templeton instead. Wind picking up ever so slightly here at Pilk. Govs controlling across midfield. Pushing with a little bit of intensity. And we've got a whistle. And it'll be back towards midfield, out of play, says the officials, and the Cobblers will regain the possession. Around 10 minutes to play here in the first half. Controlled at midfield by the Cobblers. Nice play by Patel Alegre to stick his back heel up and intercept that pass off the foot of Gavin Callahan.
Hudson Pitts getting ready to come back in for the Cobblers.
And make sure you stick around for the Wealth Partners Ameriprise Financial Halftime Show. We'll recap the first half for you. We'll look ahead to Game 2 of our doubleheader. And as the Cobblers push back down into the near side corner, Chance Herrera giving chase. That one will roll out of play, but it'll set up a corner for the Cobblers here on the near side. Seen a couple corners thus far. It's Herrera doing the kicking. Nothing too threatening out of those corners, not like what we've seen from the Governors early on. Herrera boots a high floating kick. Going to cross the box, bounce out. Taken for the moment by Bergman. He tried to center it. Went off his shin and lost all momentum. Kicked out of play by the Govs.
You can see how important Sean feels those corner kicks are for Rapid City. He's dropping everyone back in the box to not give any space to for crazy bounces or anything else. All the Governors are back.
Still at midfield. Coming here near side and trying to chase was Caden Aharts. And now Caden Aharts has got a little bit of an outlet here. Aharts on the near side, entering the box, working on his defender, out in front of the net, along the baseline. Shot is through, off the foot of Callahan. He cleans it up. The shot on goal by Caden Aharts goes off the foot of a defender, finds its way in, and we've got our first goal of the game.
Great counterattack. First ball by Height. Found Caden. Caden took the defender on, and then off a couple deflections, cleaned up his shot with the follow-up. So great first ball, started the attack by Lucas Height out of the center back spot.
And what a play there by Caden Aharts to stick with it. Turned the corner on the defender ever so slightly, got himself in front. It was a nice save by Marcus Callahan initially, but Aharts was there to clean it up, sent it off the defender's shin. It careened into the back of the net, and the Governors lead 1-0. 1-0 here at the Pilk late in the first half as this one's pushed through. Quick opportunity here for Chance Herrera. That one booted out of play. And Caden Aharts made that play what it was, but it wouldn't have been started if it weren't for Lucas Height, as Chris Derry mentioned, on the outstanding feed. Out into the near side corner, and then Caden Aharts did what he does best, just took control from there. And the junior gets the Govs on the board. Under 10 minutes to play here in the opening half. Booted back out towards midfield. Governors leading 1-0. Governors here with another early opportunity as this one's pushed through for Hekmat Ghaznavi. Ghaznavi with unbelievable speed has an opportunity, puts on the brakes, shot on goal, sails left, and he's grasping at his left ankle there. And wow, that was blazing speed from Hekmat Ghaznavi to get up the pitch.
And another good ball out of the back. You know, the counterattacks right now for Governors, the most success they're having is a quick counterattack out of the back. ball through the channel or over the top of the back line, and it's caused 2 great opportunities for the Governors.
And Hekmat Ghaznavi was lockstep with his defender until he saw the ball coming his way, and then he turned on the burners and created an unbelievable amount of separation. He kicked it from the near side corner of the box, and it just sailed a little bit high on him, but good ball control by Hekmat Ghaznavi gave the Governors another opportunity, and they've got another one here. This one put out in front. Alex Odakoven with a shot. That one sails wide, and it's going to go back behind the net.
And I know Coach Sobrowski over there for Rapid City is not going to be happy with his defense playing with the ball back there like that. You can't center a ball up at the top of the 18 with the pressure in your face. So that'll be something Coach Sobrowski will have to address at halftime, because you don't want to give away great opportunities like he just did for Odakoven.
A bit of risky passes out in front of the net have led to some opportunities for the Governors. They've taken advantage of one, and I think the Cobblers might find themselves fortunate not to be trailing by more.
Yeah, right now, I mean, the Governors have controlled this game from a possession standpoint, a shots on goal standpoint, great shots, dangerous shots on goal. Governors are dominating a lot of the different areas of the game. So if this keeps up, it's a recipe for a win for the Governors and not good things for Cobblers.
Caden Ahart's knifing his way through a couple defenders, tripped up on the play. Official says get up, no whistle, and will be booted out of bounds. Alex Odakoven, the last Governor with the scoring opportunity. Governors control, pushing the envelope here as this one's stepped on but pushed forward and stayed with by Lucas Height. Great ball control there from Height, who almost tripped over it initially. Shot on goal coming from way outside, but sails to the right for Everett Norton. Marcus Callahan happy to see that one sail by him.
Yeah, Lucas Height with the dribble out of the back there and stepped on the ball and kept going. Anybody else I think would have been on the ground from stepping on the ball like that. He just it was what he planned.
That's one of those plays that you don't really practice. You just kind of have to have the skill to be able to stay with that play, much like Lucas Height has. This one pushed through for the moment, taken away by the Govs, but the Cobblers regain possession, and now an outlet pass since Chance Herrera out in front of the Governor's bench, but that one will sail out of play.
And you can hear, so you have both Coach Sobrowski, Joe, and Chris over there. You hear Chris, the assistant, yelling at his guys to get that ball to the corner there so he can beat them to the corners and try to get in. That's obviously a game plan that they have.
Well, you also hear Sean Blanchette saying, don't stand around. He wants his guys to be continuously moving, continuously applying pressure. There's this one sent down to the far corner, giving chase is Blaha. Blaha centers, pushes across for Hekmat Ghaznavi, sent towards the net on a floater, and Callahan had to climb the ladder to steal that one away as another Governor offensive threat almost comes up as a goal, but Marcus Callahan gets to it just in the nick of time. It was Alex Odakoven who jumped up with Callahan trying to get his head on that ball. Alex Odakoven just putting himself in more good opportunities. Gov still leading 1-0 here as we creep towards our first halftime break of these two games here this afternoon. Everett Norton giving chase along with a couple Cobblers as that one's pushed out of bounds. We'll stay with the Govs.
And this is something I watched at practice earlier this week. They were actually practicing these kicks into the top of the 18.
We'll see if that practice paid off. Booted beautifully out in front of the net, off the head of Alex Odakoven and out of play. But a great centering pass off the set piece from Cale Shrake. You always wonder as a coach, something you practice just like that, a more unique play. If Sean Blanchette stands there thinking to himself, we practice this, we know we can do it, and just hoping to see it pay off sooner or later. Javier Portela Alegre picks off the pass. Dumps back to Lucas Height. Governor's control.
Yeah, and you practice them. You'll create many opportunities, and when they go in and they work, it's a beautiful thing to watch.
That one forced back to Carter Templeton. He's had a pretty easy first half back there. The one scoring opportunity from Rapid City Central found the back of the net, but was called off by an offside penalty. or foul, I should say, infraction. Push back towards midfield here for Chance Herrera. Turning around and pinwheeling was Volkman. Volkman here near side, pushes it and saved just before it goes out of play by Hudson Pitts. Couldn't save it. James Hart checking back in for the Govs. Hekmat Ghaznavi will take a seat.
Yeah, and you can hear Chris Zabrowski down here telling them flag, flag, now the flag, now the flag. So they're trying to get that ball to the corner there to create an opportunity.
Governors not having any of it. That back line has been very stingy thus far. They haven't let much get behind them. They've used their speed to their advantage. And they've kind of shut off the valve on some Cobbler scoring opportunities. This one hoisted back towards midfield off the head of Alex Odakoven. Secured there by Tate Winter, one of the team's captains for the Cobblers. Working that far sideline is Logan Bergman. Bergman has it taken away. Jacoby LaRoche fighting. Back and forth with Peter Sales. Push back towards midfield. Caden Ahart's with it. Streaking up the pitch. Pushes it forward for James Hart. That pass cut off there by Gabriel Rojas. Pushed into the far side by LaRoche. Also there was Everett Norton, but he had it taken away for the moment. Govs about 10 yards outside of the box. Couldn't get it any further. And as the Cobblers take it away, push it back towards midfield. Logan Bergman with it. You almost wonder if Zabrowski wants to try to get to the halftime break, just trailing 1-0. And we've got an offside against the Cobblers. It was Chance Herrera trying to chase forward. Got a little bit too far out in front of that back line of the Governors. Flag went up.
Well, Lucas Height did a great job. He was back there next to him, and then Lucas decided to take 3 steps up and cause that Rapid City striker there to not notice that he was out there by himself. It was an easy call for the referee.
Pretty high IQ play, I'd say. As Bertella Legre pushing down, gets pushed down. James Hart will give chase back towards this loose ball, taken away by Herrera. Bertella Legre comes in to help. Rattles off a couple of shin guards. Thrown back in by the Cobblers. Pushed back and now popped up towards midfield. Norton with it. This one booted across the way, down towards that far side corner. Giving chase is Blaha. Blaha down right in front of the flag, trying to shake loose the defender there, Guatemala. That one out in front, and Marcus Callahan will clean it up. Callahan has certainly been busy. This one sent our way. Cut off. Chance Herrera back towards midfield, trying to feed it through, but it's too strong as he was looking for Volkman, but he found Carter Templeton instead. Overhead toss back towards midfield come the Govs. Everett Norton. He pushes for Cale Shrake. Shrake giving chase. A lot of contact down in that far corner out in front of the flag. They're going to say that went off the body of a Pierre Governor. Govs were trying to sell the corner early, but the officials sniffed it out, and the Cobblers get back to work. Volkman pushing forward across midfield. Shoots one down towards the near side corner, giving chase, but running out of room is Chance Herrera. Thrown in by Bertella Legre, gets it in quickly. Caden Ahart's working the near sideline, pushes it forward over the head of the official and out of play and back to the Cobblers. And there's the horn, and that brings us to the end of the first half. Eventful first half, a couple scoring opportunities, turns into 1 goal for the Govs. They lead 1-0 as we head into our halftime break. We're also going to hear a word from the South Dakota Consumer Protection's Office, Division of Consumer Protection, who the South Dakota Attorney General's Office introduces our game officials. We'll let you know who those were as we had an abbreviated pregame show. We'll also get to a little bit in our halftime show from the first part of this game. We'll look ahead to the second game of our doubleheader. We'll take a quick 3-minute break. We'll be right back on River 92.7 with the halftime show here on River 92.7 and streaming on drgnews.com.
Be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
At Ringneck Energy, their mission is to produce renewable energy that adds value to grain and livestock production, enhances the income of their investor partners, and provide a safe, rewarding work environment. Located at 901 Redwood Avenue in Oneida, South Dakota. Call 605-945-6900 or check ringneckenergy.com. A proud supporter of local schools and wishes all students the best of luck in all their activities during the school year, creating economic opportunities in our community.
Ready to gain an edge in your career? Tide Machinery's Service Technician Apprenticeship Program is designed for anyone wishing to become a diesel mechanic working on Case IH equipment through full-time, on-the-job training. Enjoy hands-on work experience, learn from factory-trained service experts, and apply your knowledge from school directly to your work with this unique program opportunity. Become a titan in the industry and grow with a dealership that invests in you at Tide Machinery, Highmore, Miller, and Pierre, your local Case IH dealer. Visit TitanMachinery.com/careers to learn more.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
Wow, Bill, you're walking so much better. What did you do?
Well, I got so tired of the pain and nearly fell. And one of my friends recommended physical therapy at Winter Physical Therapy. And you know what? My back also stopped hurting.
Huh. So how did you get started?
My doctor wrote me a referral, but that's not always needed. Turns out you always have a choice where you want to go.
So why did you choose Winter Physical Therapy?
I love to support our locally owned small businesses. And quite frankly, they give great personalized care.
Winter Physical Therapy. Exceptional care.
That moment when you realize your furnace is...
Financial. I'm Justin Coward alongside Chris Derry. Chris Derry's got a big day today. A couple folks going into the Hall of Fame, and he gets to help hand out the plaques and do a little emceeing in between matchups. And it's a 1-0 lead for the Governors after the first half of play on the boys' varsity game. That goal was scored by Caden Aharts, assisted by Lucas Height. An outstanding play. We'll get to that with you, as that is our Rounds Financial Services right on the money highlight from the first half, and looking like it will be for the whole game, as that was a huge play for the Governors. They had a couple scoring opportunities early on, couldn't kind of get them to completely complete and get them through, but it was a wonderful pass up ahead by Lucas Height, who found Caden Aharts, and then Caden Aharts from the near side outside the box turned the corner on the defender, sent a shot on Marcus Callahan. It careened off the hands of Callahan back out into the field of play right in front of the net. Caden Aharts, staying with it as he so often does, was able to get the loose ball, send it off a defender's shin, and it careened into the play. That was our Rounds Financial Services right on the money highlight. Be listening for the Rounds Financial Services right on the money highlight. Rounds Financial Services, where your money works for you. OSAIC Wealth Member SIPC. As our officials, as you heard there today, Grant Carlson, Kyle Norbert, and David Grantham. Big thanks to the South Dakota Attorney General's Office Division of Consumer Protection for sponsoring that kickoff. We told you we had an abbreviated pregame here today. They wanted to get the game early, try to avoid some of these thunderstorms that are possibly making their way through the Pierre area later this afternoon. So we got underway about 15 minutes early. as the Governor boys carry a 1-0 lead into the second half. Got our officials standing out in front of us here, and I welcome Chris Derry back onto the headset. And Chris, we were just talking about that Caden Ahart's goal, but you were talking about how it was all set up by Lucas Height and a beautiful pass. Yes, it was a wonderful play, some great speed shown by Caden Ahart's, and some great persistence to stay with that ball, get it loose, and kick it off the shin of a defender. But Lucas Height set that whole play up.
Lucas did, and it was a first-time ball. He didn't put the ball at his feet. He didn't try to dribble it. He took a one-time shot or one-time pass, put it down into space, like I talked about earlier on, where Caden tried to get a ball through to Jacoby LaRoche and just played the wrong ball. That was the right ball. It was in the air. It wasn't a floated ball. It was a driven ball down to the flag to give Caden the opportunity to take his defender on one-on-one, which is what you really want to see. And that wasn't the only one. I mean, Lucas Height sitting back there at center back has created at least 3 opportunities. The one to Caden that was scored, but the other one to Heckmod that he created out there that got Heckmod free. That's a dangerous weapon when you've got Rapid City Central who's playing a high line and is pushing forward to either A, try to get offsides, or B, try to clear their box to give their keeper more space to operate in. But either way, they're playing a high line, so there's a short amount of space between both defensive lines. One ball can beat 11 guys, which is what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy to look at Caden Ahart's and look at Heckmot Ghaznavi and the plays they used with their speed and kind of say, wow, those are 2 great plays by those 2 guys. But you can't shy away from the fact that it all has to be set up, and Lucas Height plays that role to perfection.
He has, and Sean has a gem back there with him. Carter Norton is the guy who's blowing up a lot of plays at defense, as is Lucas Height, but Lucas is the distributor by what you've seen so far. Lucas has made some great touches. Now, of course, he's had a few that you're kind of like, oh, Lucas, what are you doing? But you're going to take those as a coach because he's trying to get the ball the right spot. Sometimes he's going to miss it, and like I tell my players all the time, last perfect person or last person who did everything perfectly, I think his name was Jesus Christ, and there hasn't been one since. So you're going to make the mistakes. As long as you're trying to get it right, we'll live with the mistakes if you continue to try to get it right.
And I think something you hear out of coaches a lot is, you know what, I'm okay with mistakes as long as you're pushing it to 100%. You're trying your hardest. You're in the position. You know what, you can't make a perfect play on every single play. It's just putting yourself in the right spots, and if you continue to do that consistently, you will find the ball getting into the back of the net. So we're going to take one more break here. When we come back, we'll highlight what's to come in the second half. We'll also look ahead to the girls' game here quickly. We're going to step away. You're listening to the halftime show presented by our friends at Wealth Partner Ameriprise Financial on River 92.7. We'll be back with a little bit more from the halftime show and then get the second half underway on River 92.7 and streaming on drgnews.com.
Financial busted. We're talking a real put on every sweater you own, I can't feel my feet, penguin predicament. But fear not, there's an expert for that.
Let your local heating experts at Pites Service Experts keep you warm with $50 off any furnace repair.
Like it toasty? There's an expert for that.
Call Pites Service Experts at 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
For over 70 years, Pitt's Design Build has earned our reputation locally for serving communities across South Dakota. We provide design and building services for schools, hospitals, churches, commercial offices, multifamily housing, and so much more. Pitt's Design Build is conveniently located in Pierre, Mitchell, and Sioux Falls to serve you and your organization. We bring value to our clients by facilitating the design and/or construction process. Give us a call today and check us out at pittsdesignbuild.com for a free building consultation.
The Corner Station Convenience Store and the Crossing Pub are both conveniently located on Pleasant Drive in Pierre, South Dakota. At the Corner Station, grab your favorite hot and cold beverages and snacks while filling your vehicle up with Cenex brand gasoline. The Corner Station also features a super tunnel car wash to keep your vehicle sparkling clean. At the Crossing, grab a cold beverage and check out their selection of appetizers while watching the Stanley County Buffaloes and Pierre Governors live on their big screen televisions. Best of luck to all area students from the Corner Station and the Crossing.
DRG Media
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
And then when you force them to the corner, you have the touch line and the end line as your other defenders to help pin them in and then get the ball and win it back.
And as both teams make their way back out onto the pitch, what's going to be the game plan, do you think, for the Pierre Governors? Do they keep their foot on the gas here in the second half, or do you think they try to play a little bit more in defense, a little bit more conservative, try to guard this 1-0 lead and get their second win of the season?
We'll find out as soon as they get out there, but if it's me as a coach, I'm putting my foot on the gas. You know, a 1-0 lead, one mistake and it's tied up, and Sean has had that happen with Yankton with the 1-1 tie that they got, or 2-2 tie that they got there. They had the lead, and a mistake happened, and boom, they tied it up. So if I'm coaching right now, hey, our foot's on the gas. We're going forward. We're trying to take care of business.
Second half is underway. A lot of these draws are games that Sean Blanchette feels like his team could have and maybe should have won, and you don't want to have that same opportunity. But of course, coaches learn a lot in losses. And Sean Blanchette trying to use some of those little tidbits of knowledge that he's picked up in those losses here today. Governors and Cobblers will switch sides. So now the Governors attacking from right to left on your radio dial. As this one is pushed back towards Carter Templeton. That one with a little bit of heat on it. Kind of caught Templeton off guard. Luckily, he was thinking on his feet and was able to stop it before it got by him. And the Governors nearly scored an own goal. This one cut off by the Cobblers, and number 22, Tate Winter, using his speed to get out in front. I think here from the quick offset to start this second half, what Chris Derry told you, you're going to find out quickly what the game plan for both of these teams is, and the Cobblers playing somewhat aggressive to start. This will be a set piece set up here by Chase Kepler, wearing the captain band today for the Cobblers. About 10 yards inside the midfield line, right in front of our press box. He's going to boot it with the right foot, send it high up into the dreary skies of Pierre. It's booted right back towards him. Kepler with a head will settle things down, pushes it back towards midfield, over towards Guatemala. Guatemala will roll it over towards Tate Winter. And this one cut off. Nice play, good defensive play, and good defensive positioning for Joseph Blaha as he pushes that one back into the deep back line of the defensive zone of the Cobblers, but the Cobblers are able to get away with it. Nearly picked off for the moment by, Jacoby LaRoche. Ball bouncing back and forth, and now Hekmat Ghaznavi using his speed to get to that loose ball, set up an opportunity. Templeton watching from afar as Jacoby LaRoche sets up on the near side corner of the box. He nutmegs a defender, and out comes Marcus Callahan. He got a little bit too aggressive, and the shot on goal will find its way to the back of the net for Jacoby LaRoche.
Great individual effort by Jacoby right there. Got stood up by the defender, got the defender leaning one way, gave him a meg, went on the keeper. Keeper slid feet first, which he should have come hands first, and Jacoby punished him for it coming feet first, just knocked it off of him and the defender in the goal.
Yeah, a little bit aggressive by Marcus Callahan. He decided at the last moment, I'm going to just go try and steal this one away from Jacoby LaRoche, but LaRoche had other things in mind. He kind of bounced it off the cleat of Marcus Callahan, who slid foot first towards him, and he was able to pop that one into the back of the net. Jacoby LaRoche with an outstanding flurry down there makes it 2-0 Governors, and they extend their lead here early in the second half. What a play by Jacoby LaRoche.
Yeah, Coach Chris Zabrowski over there, who was a goalkeeper in his own right back when he played for his dad, Joe, and then is also the goalkeeper coach. I know that's going to drive him a little bit crazy how he came out after that ball. So that'll be a good learning experience for the young man from Rapid City, and Coach Chris. He's a good goalie coach. He'll get him squared away.
As the Governors push this one back towards Carter Templeton. Jacoby LaRoche pulling out all the tricks in his bag to get the second goal of the game for the Governors. And that was such a nice play. We might have gotten our right on the money highlight a little bit too early from Rounds Financial Services. This one crossed back towards Callahan as well from the far side corner. That one had a lot of heat on it. Blocked down by Callahan. He's able to roll it out to Noah Lip. Lip will push it forward. This one booted high up into the air by Hudson Pitts. Giving chase over here on the Neal side is Cale Shrake. That one roll out of bounds in front of the Cobbler bench. Shrake with a heave, trying to find its way to Hekmat Ghaznavi. Ghaznavi getting worked on by the defender. They fight for it. It's Ghaznavi and Winter battling it out.
Winter's a big, strong, physical center back type. If you're gonna get into the meat of him and try to win a physical battle, that's not a game plan for success.
And he showed that physicality right there, being able to shut off the speed and close the valve of Ghaznavi.
Yeah, he did a good job just using his body, getting between him and the ball, shielding him off and winning the ball. So good job by the Rapid City defender.
That ball still kind of pinned up over there along the sideline out in front of the Governor bench. Has gone out of bounds now 3 times as Ghaznavi falls down but stays with it after the throw in. LaRoche will push it back towards midfield for Patel Allegre. More good possession percentages for the Governors here to start the second half. As this pass is back behind his intended target, Lucas Height. That was off the foot of Patel Allegre, but the Cobblers using that opportunity to push the envelope here. Patel Allegre comes flying in. Kind of boots it with the back of his heel.
Yeah, that was an uncharacteristic mistake right there by him to try to get that ball back to Lucas when Lucas was covered up by a guy. So that'll be something. I mean, like I said, no one's perfect. He's going to make a mistake. As long as he learns from it, does better, and he will.
Everett Norton forcing his way into the offensive zone. Marcus Callahan comes out, sliding on his side, gets to that one. As another opportunity presented itself. This time it was Caden Aharts looking for his second goal before Callahan got to it. This one deadened by Norton, and now it's pushed forward by the Cobblers on the far side, cutting out in front of the net, and a beautiful defensive steal from Patel Allegre. Wins back the possession momentarily for the Govs, but it does get it out of the defensive zone of Pierre.
And that was a great stick. He didn't come in sliding, he didn't come in out of control, came in under control, got his foot in there, stood him up, won the ball. Again, you know, there's a lot of things if you're trying to teach your younger players how to play a position correctly. A lot of things out here, examples you can use for how to do it the right way.
Shrake sending it forward. Ghaznavi was coming up to it, had to pinwheel and turn back around and head towards the back line. Tate Winter going to get to that one first, send it out of bounds right in front of our press box here. Kel Shrake will do the throwing in. Still haven't had a Coca-Cola bottling timeout yet. There's been a flurry of action here from the Pilk on this Saturday morning. Back towards midfield, cut off by Height. Height turning the corner around Chance Herrera. Herrera, not a starter, but certainly has gotten a wealth of playing time here today. As this one got through to Chase Kepler, who boots it back towards midfield for the Cobblers. LaRoche working on Gavin Callahan. LaRoche has got it. He knifes through defenders. LaRoche already with 1 goal, looking for a second, but a nice defensive play there on the slide from Chase Kepler. And he blocked it with his backside and kept it out of the box. So back towards midfield they go, out of bounds by Patel Allegre. But the Governors continuing to force the issue as the wind picks up here. Jacoby LaRoche has got it. Dribbling, looking downfield. Beautiful feed up for Ghaznavi. Ghaznavi with a first touch that gets it out in front of the net, but Marcus Callahan came out to field it. Nice touch there by Hekmat Ghaznavi. Gave himself an opportunity, but Marcus Callahan, when he had to, came out of the net and slid to the save. But Callahan has been a busy customer back there for the Cobblers. This one's pushed forward and pushed through. Tate Winter getting to it. This one's whistled and out of play. It'll stay with the Cobblers for the moment. Guatemala had it, but now he's got his hands up pleading with the officials, and well, they're going to say Kel Shrake gets to throw it out here for the Govs. So he didn't win that appeal. Ghaznavi's got it. Pushes it inside. LaRoche with another shot on goal. Curling, but just turns around the outside of the pipe. Nice shot there from LaRoche. Tough shot to get to bend enough to get it on the net, especially with a defender in your way.
Yeah, no, Jacoby tried a nice technique there, and just a little bit off, but giving him those opportunities is a dangerous way to live for Rapid City Central, because a lot of times Jacoby's going to put that ball in the back of the net.
Chance Herrera will check out of the game for the Cobblers. Sebastian Banks checks in as the substitution's made, and Callahan puts it back into play. Cobblers at midfield, floated forward. Carter Norton there to clean it up on the back line, pushes it across to Patel Allegre. Allegre fighting along that far sideline with Noah Lips. weaving his way through defenders as Everett Norton picks it up, pushes it forward, gets it across to Wyatt Nicholson, and it's sent out in front but pushed away by Marcus Callahan. So we see Wyatt Nicholson for the first time here this afternoon.
Yeah, just a little bit offsides. He left just a little bit early, but again, you're finding Pierce finding some success of driving the middle and then putting the ball out wide in the seam, and it's been it's worked several times so far here in the second half for the Governors.
Cobblers trying to get any sort of offensive momentum here. They really haven't had a look here in the second half. Carter Templeton's been very steady back there, but the 4 guys in front of him, 3 or 4 guys that's been on that back line, have done an outstanding job keeping it pretty clean in front of their goalkeeper. Volkman along the sideline throws it off the shin guard of Wyatt Nicholson. That one bounces out of play, so to throw it in will be Gavin Callahan. Callahan with the heave, dropped in by Alex Odakoven. Back towards midfield, controlled by Tate Winter. Winter, one of the captains, looking, and will just dump it back towards another one of his captains. Got it back to Kepler, who boots it in off the head of Pertel Alegre. And now the Governors with some numbers, pushing it across midfield. Force forward, beautiful feed up ahead to Alex Odakoven. Odakoven trying to loosen himself free from the defender, dumps it back to Jacoby LaRoche. LaRoche has it taken away. Nice defensive steal there from Kepler. Great footwork.
Jacoby tried to create a little space there with a little flick with the outside part of his foot, and just missed it. If he'd got that ball through, he was in on keep.
Norton will control, pushes it right in front of our press box here as up the sideline goes Cale Shrake. Shrake's run out of bounds, and he was the last one to touch it. So Noah Lip will throw it in here for the Cobblers. Lip looking to his left, looking for somewhere to throw it in. Still hasn't. Now he finally does. Volkman off his foot, now giving chase is Caden Aharts. Aharts lost it, booted back into play, and now giving chase here is Sebastian Banks for the Cobblers. Down on the far side corner. Beautiful slide tackle there by Pertel Alegre, and he wins back the possession. And there are just so many good things that Pertel Alegre does for this team, and that's one of them right there.
It is. That was a perfectly timed tackle, won the ball, and now it's helped to start a counterattack.
As Jacoby LaRoche pushes it forward off the shin of his teammate Lucas Height. Height still with it up the far sideline, getting ever closer to that Cobbler net. Rolls it out in front. Diving save by Callahan, and a cleanup job is missed out in front. That looked like it was Joseph Blaha on the shot, and he's going to be kicking himself when he sees how much net he actually had on film after this one wraps up. I think Sean Blanchette's pretty upset it's not 3-0 right here for his Governors.
And that should have been a goal. Wide open net. The keeper had to come out. Lucas Height made the keeper come out to make the save. He made the save, parried it right to the middle for Joseph Blaha, and Joseph Blaha just had to touch it in the back of the net. So, you know, Joseph's going to beat himself up and want another opportunity.
And I'm sure he'll get one, but not sure it'll be that wide open the next time around.
Yeah, those are few and far between, and boy, when they happen, you want to take advantage of them.
Booted downfield, cleared out of the zone by Aharts. This one will bounce all the way back to Callahan. Callahan rocking the highlighter orange kit today. Hekmat Ghaznavi picks off the pass. Things might be on here for the Govs as Jacoby LaRoche out in front. Left-footed kick through the wickets, through the 5-hole of Marcus Callahan. And another goal by Jacoby LaRoche. It's 3-0 Governors, his second of the day. And that's a big one for the insurance of the Pierre Governors.
Great job. Great job by Jacoby. Pressure the defender to make a bad pass. Ghaznavi wins the ball, gives it right back to Jacoby, and Jacoby 1v1 versus your defender is usually a win for Jacoby, and he did. He punished him right there.
We've seen that now twice today out of Jacoby LaRoche's second goal of the half. And Hekmat Ghaznavi doing a nice job facilitating that as well. So the Governors with a comfortable 3-goal lead here about midway through the second half. Cobblers were already fighting an uphill battle, but then they've got a huge mountain to climb here as time continues to tick away. One in the middle by Noah Lip. And we'll see again how aggressive Sean Blanchette wants to continue to be with this 3-goal lead.
Yeah, there's two trains of thoughts here. Obviously, a lot of coaches are going to say we got a 3-0 lead. Let's protect it. Let's pack the numbers in, make sure they can't get behind us, and if we get a counterattack, great. And then the other one is you've got them on their heels. You can get more. Keep your foot on the gas and go. And we'll see where it ends up here.
A lot of contact there by Cale Schrake. Flag goes up in the air as it was a shoulder shove pushing down Tucker Larson along the sideline out in front. And it'll set up a free kick here from the near side sideline for Sebastian Banks. It was looking like a tackle made in the Governors game last night.
Yeah, Cale just got a little bit excited right there, and the kid slowed down in front of him, and Cale had the contact.
As this one's headed high, Carter Templeton will let it bounce out of play. I think that went off the head of Carter Norton out in front of the net, just trying to get it out of harm's way, so it'll set up a corner for the Cobblers. And anybody that tells you soccer is not a physical game has never watched soccer, because that was a couple physical plays there down on the right side of the pitch.
Yeah, I've always got a little bit of a giggle out of when people say there's no physicality in soccer. And I was like, well, you've never watched a game, because there's plenty of it.
Because there certainly is. It'll be Chase Kepler to do the kick here from the near side corner for the Cobblers. High floating kick, good setup, and it's off the head and just wide for Gavin Callahan. Beautiful setup there from Kepler, and Callahan rang the post on the left side, and it careens out of play. That was the best opportunity we've seen for the Cobblers here today.
That was very dangerous. He made a slashing run from the far 18 in and no one marked him up, and he met the ball first, which is what you don't want to see. And you can see Sean over there frustrated with the fact that they got that clean header.
So the Cobblers were inches away from getting on our Gales Gas Service scoreboard for the first time here today. Governors continue to lead 3-0 here as that one's pushed across and out of play on the far side. Rattles over a couple away fans that have made the trip from Rapid City. Gabriel Rojas with the throw-in for the Cobblers. Popped high up into the air, controlled out in front by Daniel Gibson. Taken away by Alex Odakoven. Odakoven's had a big week. As Brian Oakland reported, he committed to wrestle collegiately for Northern State. Two-time state runner-up is Alex. He's a pretty good soccer player to boot.
He is, and congratulations to him. I know he's worked really hard on his wrestling, and to see him go and continue on to college level as a dad of someone whose kid went and done that, I know how proud the parents are, but I know how excited he is for all of his hard work to have paid off.
Gubbs pushing. Hekmat Ghaznavi has it raying off the back heel as he had a little bit of a lane. And a close little stamp between the two legs of Hekmat Ghaznavi and Daniel Gibson. Kind of stalled out the momentum of the soccer ball there. Gubbs on the push. We'll talk a little bit more about Alex Odakoven and his commitment here when things settle down, as it'll be controlled by Sebastian Banks, pushed back towards midfield. You got to imagine that for Alex Odakoven, a lot of that wrestling pays off in these close little shoulder battles that you get into as Caden Ahart's controls.
Yeah, I mean,
loses.
The balance and everything has definitely got to help him.
Often find yourselves in a lot of little shoving matches that really require a lot of strength from muscles that you don't tend to work out unless you're on a wrestling mat. As Jacoby LaRoche is tripped up at midfield, that'll draw a whistle.
Yeah, just a little trip over the ball, both going for the ball, and ended up getting the catch in the back of Jacoby's heels as he got there first, and the referees didn't like the play, so we're going to go the other direction, and Pierre's going to have a free kick.
Just under 23 minutes to play here in the ball game. Governors leading 3-0 here in game one of our doubleheader. It'll be pushed forward by Lucas Height. Second game to follow with the girls as this one's floated into Marcus Callahan. He loses control of it for the moment, but hops back on top of it. And more good pressure by the Governors offense.
Nice. It was a nice ball there by Caden Ahart trying to find Jacoby or the back of the net, and young Mr. Callahan there went up to get the ball, met it at its highest point, which is, excellent goalkeeping.
Pushed through for the moment and then shot out of bounds by Jamin Guatemala. Nice job there by Guatemala to slow down the momentum of the Governor offense. Quickly thrown back in. Out in front is Caden Aharts. Aharts out in front of the net. Shot on goal, and it's off the hands of Marcus Callahan, and he corrals it. What a save by Callahan, who was one-on-one with Caden Aharts, and Aharts almost found his second goal of the afternoon.
And we talked about keepers, good players learning from their mistakes. The last time he came out 1v1 with somebody, he slid feet first, and Jacoby punished him. This time he came out hands first and got the ball. So obviously he's paying attention that he needed to fix something, and right there, that's a sign of a player who's figuring it out and learning on the fly. Great job to him.
A little bit easier to control that ball with your hands rather than your feet, I would say. And well, I wasn't much of a soccer player, but I think even I know that. So a nice play there by Marcus Callahan between the pipes to save another Governor goal. See if his offense can pick them up, get them on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard for the first time here today. At what point as a coach, as we're about 20 minutes halfway through the second half, do you start trying to think about shutout and trying to keep that? Or if you're Sean Blanchette, is the only thing on your mind getting the win, not about the style of the win?
Well, at this point right now, you've played a really good game. Keeping the shutout, there's a certain level of importance you want to have in that, but at the same token, the ultimate goal is to get the win.
And that's what the Govs are 20 minutes away from doing, getting their second win of the season, trying to keep the Cobblers scoreless.
Yep.
Or winless, I should say, and keep them scoreless here in this game. Caden Ahart's pushing ahead. Far side shot from the corner of the box, and a diving stop by Marcus Callahan. Boy, has he been busy today, and he made another flawless save. A lot of pace on that shot from Caden Aharts. He doesn't shoot too many without pace. And Marcus Callahan did everything he could to stop that one and made a great save for the Cobblers.
Yeah, great job by him. He had his positioning right. Caden Ahart did a lot of work to get in there and get a shot. I mean, just, again, I've mentioned it before in the first half, it's fun to watch good soccer when it happens.
Govs waiting, killing a little bit of time here out in front of their own bench. Aharts will throw it in for the Govs. The wind looking closer and closer as this one's headed in off the front of the forehead of Alex Odakov and got out in front of the net and was booted way high up into the white skies here this afternoon and out of play. So it looks like it'll set up a throw in for the Governors. Quickly in. Ahart's with it and shot back out of bounds, this time by Gavin Callahan.
Yeah, right now you're starting to see a little bit of the frustration from the defense on the Rapid City Central side. They've been under attack, 80% of this game, and at this point right now they're just, let's get the ball forward or get it out of our area. We just do not want it back here anymore, and they're looking for their offense to help them out, and if not, we're just going to clear it and try to kill this clock as much as we can.
Aiden Bass had checked in for the moment. He checks out, as does Hekmat Ghaznavi. Back into the game is Joseph Blaha and James Hart for the Govs. This one back in behind the net. Marcus Callahan will get to kick this one free. Low bouncing kick finds its way across the pitch outside onto Gabriel Rojas. Push through for Volkman. Volkman trying to shake free the Governor defenders. This time it's cut off by James Hart, who just boots it back down to the other end. Marcus Callahan will traverse over.
Yeah, and he's putting his foot on the ball and dribbling. He had both wings flying down the side there and just dribbled it one or two too many times. And that'll be an adjustment that young man for Rapid City will need to make. Get the ball off your feet, get it out wide to your players who are streaking instead of losing it under pressure in the middle.
This one pushed through to Caden Aharts. Ahart's forcing his way through. Now we'll have to turn as he runs into some traffic. Guatemala was there to greet him. Guatemala goes flying across the turf, and now we got a point and a whistle and a foul. And, I think that when he had those two wings to the Cobblers flying down either side, kind of comes with the pressure that the Governor defense has been putting on. It's tough to keep your eyesight down the pitch and find those two wings flying. when you've got as many bodies that the Governors are presenting at midfield.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's a certain level of, you've lost a little bit of focus because you haven't had the ball a lot. And when you do get the ball, you want to be creative and do something. And I think that's what happened right there.
Jacoby LaRoche with a beautiful feed up ahead for James Hart. Hart, one-on-one, out in front, puts his back up against the defender. Now into the near side corner of the box, looking for a shot on goal, and stepping in front of it was Kepler. And it'll set up a corner kick for the Governors, but a great pass through, and James Hart did his best to get out in front of the net, gave the Govs another opportunity, and will set up another opportunity with another corner kick coming off the foot of Jacoby LaRoche.
Great ball out of the from Jacoby out to James Hart, and James Hart tried to take his defender on. Just well played.
LaRoche will take this from the near side corner to our left. Low trajectory kick gets its way in off the head and off the crossbar. Governors thought that caught some netting, but it was the hand of Marcus Callahan that actually rattled the net. That ball hit the bottom of the crossbar, bounced straight down, and was pushed out of play. So the Cobblers will live to fight another day and keep it a 3-0 deficit. But another nice opportunity for the Govs. We'll see if LaRoche can create another off this corner. That one bouncing in front. Marcus Callahan dives and hops on top of it before James Hart could get to it. But the corner kicks have looked outstanding today for the Governors. Almost every single one of them has led to a scoring opportunity.
Yeah, you can tell Jacoby's been putting in work on his corner kicks. They are on point at either the top of the 6 or at the PK mark, which is exactly where obviously they want the ball, and has created a lot of great opportunities. So that's a dangerous thing going forward in the season.
Giving chase, chasing it down into the far side corner. That is Cale Shrake. That one just a little bit too quick out in front of Cale Shrake as he lets that one roll out. Carter Templeton happy to see it go, so he can place it down, take a little bit more time off of our Gales Gas Service scoreboard. We'll have our Family Dental Appear in Gettysburg post-game show for you, or we'll talk about this game, look ahead to the second game. We'll have a long break. Well, long in terms of broadcasting time. Get some business taken care of. And we'll be back for the Bank West pregame show for the girls' game, which will follow game number 1 here. Thrown in by the Cobblers, taken away by Norton. Pushed back across, Jacoby LaRoche gets the free ball, but it's taken away nicely there by Tate Winter. Winter with another steal. Gavin Callahan now with it. Governors moving closer and closer to their second win on the season, leading 3-0. 14 minutes to play here in the second half.
Justin, I got to say, you look a little cold here.
Yeah, guy from Georgia in these cooler temps. I'm glad I wore my jacket today. Got my hands in my pocket. That breeze pushing across. We're just kind of out in the elements here. I know those guys out playing aren't too chilly. And I know I'm going to get grief for saying the word chilly on a 65-degree day here in Pierre. That one put out in front of the goalkeeper and booted away by Chase Kepler.
After spending the week down in Phoenix myself in the 110-degree heat, this is definitely a cool change of pace for me. So I'm not going to disagree with you. It's a little chilly.
I'm sure a welcome chill after a couple 110-degree days.
Yeah, moving my son into his new apartment down there for college, and in the heat of the day down there is an experience.
An experience indeed. It's a dry heat, but it's still a very staunch heat.
Dry, wet, it's just hot.
It's just hot. Not today, though, here at the Pilt. Clouds still hanging over top. We might get some storms later in the day. That's why we started today's matches a little bit early.
You got to quit saying that S word.
Yeah, sorry. Don't want to jinx anything. I'll tell you what, though. After my experience last year, as this one's sent out in front of the net, a couple bodies come flying in, and good to see Marcus Callahan standing back up as he had 2 Governors take out his legs. He's stretching out that right leg after he went tumbling down as 2 Governors came sliding in. I'll tell you, we learned last year that even if those S words are making their way towards Pierre, you'll be able to see them from about 2 miles away, and then a mile away, and then a couple 100 yards away, and they'll still be playing soccer. They will get these games in until they absolutely cannot play. Cobblers awaiting. This one sent free by Chase Kepler. One away there by Joseph Blaha. Blaha along the far sideline will have that one jarred loose as Ghaznavi waits to check back into this game. Thrown in for Everett Norton. Govs pushing with some pace here to try to get back defensively. That one picked up by Volkman. Volkman quickly greeted with 3 defenders, puts a shot on goal, and Carter Templeton goes down and makes the save. I think that was the first high-leverage save of the game for Carter Templeton, and it came with about 10 minutes left in the second half.
Yeah, good save. You know, hard part for keeper when you haven't had to do a lot is staying focused that, hey, when it's called upon, I have to do my job. And Carter did a great job right there, covered it up.
Yeah, he hadn't had to work much today, but I'm sure he's gotten a little bit chilly back there with as little movement as he's had to do, as now the Govs push the pace a little bit down towards the Cobbler keeper, and Callahan will get to that one.
Yeah, that's going to be a ball Jacoby's going to want back right there. He just parried off his chest a little bit awkwardly, and if he brings that ball down, I think he has his hat trick.
The elusive hat trick that Jacoby LaRoche looking for here today. Both of his goals coming in the second half. It would be a true hat trick if he could get all 3 in one half. As LaRoche almost took that one away off the foot of Tate Winter, but Winter stayed persistent and stayed with it through the foot of Cale Shrake, and Shrake will just concede and roll it back to Templeton, who gets it out equally as quickly. That one careening off the shin of Jackson Bergman. Templeton will wait. Templeton just a sophomore, but knows how to work the clock a little bit. It's one of those IQ things that you just kind of have to pick up through time as a goalkeeper. Spend your time surveying down the pitch when you've got a lead and it's late in the game. Just find little ways to waste a couple seconds here and there. Pushed through, taken by Gavin Callahan. Callahan floats one back towards the middle. And now this one will come free. Carter Templeton will come down, wanting to get his kit a little bit dirtied up. Goes down to the slide. Didn't much need to, but like we said, he hadn't had much to do today, thanks to his great work from the back line. Pushed through and picked up by Shrake as he crosses midfield. Shrake turning on the Jets, firing down the field, back in towards this near side corner. Shrake still working with it, off the shin of the defender, Tate Winter. It'll roll back out in front of the Pierre Governor bench. Picked up by Bergman. It'll be pushed out of play by LaRoche.
Cale did a great job getting that ball down the wing right there. I would like to have seen him get it off his foot just one touch earlier instead of he had 2 guys dribbling down the middle to get the ball.
Quickly stolen away by Alex Odakoven. Odakoven on the near side corner of the box. Nice job there by Chase Kepler to jar that one free from Odakoven. It will set up a corner kick here for the Governors on the near side to our left. But even with the 3-goal lead, Governors continuing to apply the pressure. Sure, they feel comfortable right now, but you know how crazy things can shift and how quickly they can turn. LaRoche with another good corner kick off the foot, past the head of Alex Odakoven. Not sure how that one got by his head down to his cleat, but it did. That one almost defied physics.
Yeah, that was that's one of those crazy plays you just shake your head and go, huh? How'd that happen?
Sure looked like Alex Odakoven was going to have a clear path off the head as the second corner's in. What a shot off the bottom of the cleat of Caden Aharts. His second goal of the day comes on a misdirection off the corner. Low trajectory kick from the corner. And he turned and twirled in midair and just got it with the bottom of his cleat and put it right through the 5-hole of Marcus Callahan. Boy, was that an impressive play.
Yeah, a lot of times you tell your strikers, your attackers on corner kicks, just deflect the ball towards the goal. Do whatever you can to deflect it towards the goal, and that's what Caden did right there. Just deflected it and caught Mr. Callahan off guard a little bit.
4-0, Govs out in front, as that is another insurance goal added on top. And an unbelievable play. And great hand-eye or foot-eye coordination, I should say, for Caden Aharts on his second goal of the afternoon. You could give me 100 attempts to try to do what Caden Aharts just did. I wouldn't come even close. Cobblers looking to get on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard at least once today. But that's quickly shut down by Caden Aharts as he boots it free. Taken away by Everett Norton as he pushes it across midfield. Norton working on Gavin Callahan. Callahan with a shove down to the turf. Maybe a little frustration there from Callahan, but they play on. This one rolled out of play. Another sub coming in. This time it'll be Parker McQuistion.
That's a tongue twister.
A little bit when you've never said it before, but he makes his way out onto the pitch. As coming off is Joseph Blaha. Might have seen the last of Blaha today. Maybe Sean Blanchette wanting to work some more fresh legs and some younger legs into this match. Thrown in on the far side. Controlled by the Cobblers and pushed back towards midfield. Logan Bergman had it stripped away by Carter Norton. Norton was able to jar it loose for the moment, but it got to the back line of the Cobblers and was cleared out. And bounces out of play right in front of the Cobblers bench.
I apologize there, trying to get our stuff there organized for the Hall of Fame.
Well, you got some big fish to fry here in between games, Chris Derry.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit busy, but you know, it's all worth it. Good Governors win here. Hopefully a Governors win with the girls. The Hall of Fame, first ever Hall of Fame class for Pierre soccer. Lots of things going on a cloudy, cool day here in Pierre.
Well, everything's shaping up nicely for the Governors, at least in Game 1, as they lead by 4 goals, have kept Rapid City scoreless in this first contest. As Carter Norton will shove it back towards Carter Templeton. Norton's got it back, trying to weave his way through these offenders turned defenders. Rolling through, squeaks its way to Logan Bergman. Jacoby LaRoche way back, steals it away, and we've got a handball. As McQuistion just trying to settle things down, maybe sneak a little handball from in front of the ref, but he was in lockstep with him, saw it the whole way. Valiant effort, can't blame him for trying. Cobblers here at midfield with a right-handed push forward from Tate Winter. Gets all the way back to Carter Templeton. Time draining out on the clock here for the Governors as they look to head for their second win of this season. A young season with really a lot of winnable games ahead of them, as Chris Darius told you. Nice feed as it's pushed through from Cale Shrake. Shrake down into the near side corner, centering pass and deflected away by Gabriel Rojas. That'll set up a corner kick here for the Governors, this time from the far side corner for Jacoby LaRoche. He has been outstanding on these set pieces today, putting them in position. LaRoche looking. Now another good kick, aided by some wind back behind it, sends it a little bit too far out of the zone for the Governors. As we get a couple more substitutions, Keaton Wolliver checking into the game for the Cobblers, and Elijah Sullivan checking in as well. Hekmat Ghaznavi will check out as John Sayer checks into the ball game.
I think this might be, don't quote me on this, but this might be Mr. Sayer's first varsity action of the year.
Good to see him out there, and he got about 4 minutes to make something happen. As the Cobblers push it along the back line. And trying to leave with a little bit of pride here, maybe try to get one goal in the back of the net, get something by Carter Templeton. He's been a stonewall when he's had to be, and he hasn't been needed much today. Governors' defense has played outstanding. Their offense has shown up as well. Caden Aharts with 2 goals on the day. Jacoby LaRoche with 2 goals on the day. as the Govs lead 4-0, want to win it that way. Here comes another shot, but this one's going to sail high off the foot of Caden Aharts. He was looking for the hat trick there. A little bit too much juice on that one. As Marty Blanchette checks in.
And again, another first. I believe this is Marty's first. So Sean's doing, showing the kids, hey, you put in a lot of hard work. Let's get you a little varsity time when you got a shot here and get you your varsity minutes.
And they're playing against a pretty much full varsity roster against Rapid City. Yes, they've checked in a couple younger players as well, but a bulk of their starting lineup is still out on the pitch, so they get some invaluable varsity minutes and some valuable game time here with these guys that are slowly checking in as Aharts floats one out in front over the head of Blanchette. A shot on goal by LaRoche is saved by Callahan. Callahan with a nice play between the pipes there saves the third goal of the day from Jacoby LaRoche.
Jacoby and Caden both chasing that hat trick, and both have had late opportunities here to grab it.
Yeah, and I think LaRoche might have had the best opportunity out of all of them on that last play. As we creep towards the final minute of this first match of our doubleheader here on River 92.7. Sayer cuts off a loose ball, picked up by Aharts. Aharts back to Sayer with fresh legs, flying up the near sideline. Down towards the left side corner. Gives it back to Aharts, who feeds it through for LaRoche. LaRoche with a one-touch pass to Sayer. Sayer trying to center it, and he got it off the side of the cleat, and it floats out of play.
Good work right there, and Sayer showing, hey, on the wing, you got to get those accurate passes in there, and he tried, and it's good. He made the run. He identified the situation and played it perfectly.
Put himself in good position. I think when you get a lot of these younger guys in, or guys that don't play as much at the varsity level, that's really what Blanchette is looking for. Can the guys get themselves in position, let the plays materialize themselves later on in the year? LaRoche trying to feed one through to Sayer. That one quickly cut off by Sullivan as it is popped way up into the sky, back towards midfield. Corralled by Cale Shrake. Fed off to Caden Aharts. Aharts is working on Jackson Bergman. Over to LaRoche. LaRoche cuts off, and Cobblers win the possession back. Pushed forward. Norton gets to it along that back line. Thought about giving it back to Carter Templeton, but thinks better of it. Now he tries to escape himself free from a couple Cobbler defenders, and does so successfully. Up to LaRoche at midfield. As we see Wooliver get his first touch since checking in. LaRoche steals it away from Wooliver. Pushed back towards the middle of the box, but deflected out there by Chase Kepler. Time winding down. Horn coming soon as the Governors will, barring any more scoring action, win this thing 4-0. Put out in front for Callahan. A couple steps backwards, and he fields it on the fly. Moved forward by Gavin Callahan. Stolen away by Caden Aharts. Even with the 4-goal lead, Caden Aharts still playing like it's the first couple minutes of this match.
Yeah, and just taking it down the corner, waste a little time, finish out these last few seconds here.
And there is the final horn. The Governors are victorious as they get their second win on the season. They win it 4-0. We'll recap the scoring for you after we step away. What a win by the Govs as they take down the Cobblers. Chris Derry's going to go out and hand out some Hall of Fame plaques, which you can see on drgnews.com at the River 92.7 station page via the live ticket stream. Final score on our Gales Gas Service scoreboard, 4-0. Governors win. We'll recap it for you after this short break as we enter the Family Dental of Pierre in Gettysburg post-game show on River 92.7 and streaming on drgnews.com.
Is the official voice of the Pierre Governors.
Our hash mark over the middle and wide open at the 30-yard line. Carter shuffle bind touchdown. Here's Olsen, plenty of time, 3 seconds, gets to shoot, and it's good for 3.
From football, volleyball, and soccer to basketball, wrestling, and softball, follow the Pierre Governors on the official voice of the Govs, River 92.7, and also on the River 92.7 page of the DRG News smartphone app and drgnews.com.
Briggs Trucking and Construction in Fort Pierre provides quality freight transportation services, cargo hauling, excavation, and demolition services. They also specialize in dirt and gravel work for everything from commercial work to new construction. Briggs Trucking and Construction will haul everything from light poles to farm and agricultural supplies. The bigger the job or the bigger the load, the better, as that is where their expertise really shines. Contact Briggs Trucking and Construction at 605-280-2848 or email them at cbriggs25@pi.midco.net to visit about your next project.
Graham Tire of Pierre is your premier hometown shop, specializing in tires to fit vehicles, from ATVs to large farm equipment and everything in between. At your tire store next door, you can find a plethora of brand name tires that range from 4 to 10 ply and much more. Our highly skilled technicians can handle brakes, heating, and air conditioning. Call us today at 224-8643 or visit us at grahamtire.com. Graham Tire is a proud sponsor of Pierre and surrounding communities' local activities.
Buying or selling a home is a big decision. You need an expert who knows the market and gets results. Scott Darnall at Lee Real Estate in Pierre brings experience, local knowledge, and a no-nonsense approach to help you navigate every step. Whether you're looking for the perfect home or the best offer, Scott is committed to making the process smooth and stress-free. Ready to make your next move? Call Scott Darnall at 605-220-2676. Lee Real Estate, Meredith Lee, broker-owner.
Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose, a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
Dakota Pro Air is a locally family-owned business that has been taking care of farmers' aerial needs since 2020. With locations in Letcher and Miller, Dakota Pro Air is able to provide service to a large area. Ground conditions too wet, or just don't want those sprayer tracks in your field? Give Dakota Pro Air a call for all your chemical and fertilizer application needs at 605-248-2314.
Olson Plumbing in Pierre provides complete plumbing and drain cleaning services to commercial and residential customers. Olson Plumbing understands how the simple things in life are often the things we can't live without, and running water is the top of the list. Olson Plumbing offers 24/7 emergency services, and they can be at your location in under an hour in most cases. If you need help with your plumbing system, call Olson Plumbing 605-224-6436.
You asked for it.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like
possible outcome. They do this by effective and timely communication with your dentist and preserving as much healthy tooth as possible using state-of-the-art three-dimensional imaging and the dental operating microscope to guide diagnosis and treatment. Ask your dentist if a root canal specialist is right for you. Hermanson Endodontics in Pierre.
Big thanks to Hermanson Endodontics, and our big play of the game will come off of Jacoby LaRoche and Caden Aharts. They were two of the big players of the game, but they had the big plays of the game, both of them scoring 2 goals, 3 of which came in the second half, 2 of which scored by Jacoby LaRoche. Caden Aharts got the day started with a score for the Govs as they took a 1-0 lead into the halftime break. He would get the final goal of the game as well to bookend his performance. And that was our Hermanson Endodontics big play of the game. I think the big play out of all of those 4 goals came on the final goal from Caden Aharts. One of the most beautiful scores we've seen. Corner kick came in from Jacoby LaRoche. Caden Aharts went up and just kind of flipped it in off the deflection with the bottom of his cleat. He was able to get the 4th and final goal for the Governors as they get the win 4-0. And, folks, we've got another game coming up on our broadcast schedule here in a couple moments. It's going to be the girls' varsity game as they take on the Cobblers. Governors looking to continue their great play on the season as they look to get another win, add to their win total. And you can listen to that game on the DRG News app. No, nobody's leaving, but I'm sure some folks still making their way out. So the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety reminds you to text or drive. There is no and. You've got someplace to be, and that's right here at the Pilk for game number 2 of our doubleheader. It's time to hand out a Player of the Game t-shirt from Cowboy Country Stores. Before we do that, let's hear a word from our great friends at Cowboys Country Stores who present our Player of the Game.
Anytime is a good time for Cowboy Country Stores in Pierre and Fort Pierre. Fill up your tank and your stomach. Fresh baked pastries, coffees, regular and breakfast pizzas, Champs Chicken, and more. Feed the family while on the go. Then treat yourself to a soft serve ice cream in cones and dishes. Convenience with a capital C. Cowboy Country Stores. Euclid and Harrison Avenue in Pierre and in Fort Pierre.
And our Cowboy Country Stores player of the game will be Mr. Jacoby LaRoche with those 2 big goals to extend the lead out for the Governors, as he got some insurance goals and they got the win 4-0. Well, there's a Hall of Fame ceremony going on across the pitch as Chris Derry is presenting. One final look at our Gales Gas Service scoreboard to wrap up this post-game show of Family Dental up here in Gettysburg. 4-0. Govs get the win as the girls team has made it out onto the pitch as they're waiting patiently to get their second game started. We kind of welcome you into another abbreviated pregame show sponsored by Bank West. We do have our officials. We're going to get our South Dakota Attorney General's Office Division of Consumer Protection ad in right now before we introduce you to our officials, as we had to abbreviate a little bit in pregame number 1. Not going to happen in game number 2. So now a word from the South Dakota Attorney General's Office Division of Consumer Protection.